Okay, so Bungie laid off 100 people for Destiny 2. I just want to point out that the entire Destiny 2 community has been putting out videos about how well Destiny is doing and how much profits they've been making and all this shit. And I didn't want to believe it. And I didn't want to believe it because, like, I, as an avid Destiny 2 player in the past, but got frustrated with the game because they the Destiny 2 model. This is how Destiny creates content. Okay. Can we reuse it again and how? Can we reuse it again and how? This frustrates players. It is super annoying. Every single strike is just a campaign mission that you rerun with more enemies. Okay. Slightly more difficult. It's obnoxious. There's no like unique levels there. Okay. Every single time you get through the campaign, and most of the time the campaign's pretty good, but I will say the campaign in Lightfall was not impressive for a lot of players, and honestly, that was the final straw, right? Also, having to go out and do your guns and do public events all the time, and they're basically the same public events reskinned for the new expansion. Oh, but they're different enemies this time. Oh, you mean I have to kill the tank? How do I get the tank? Oh, I just shoot the leg. Oh, that's crazy. Oh my god. Every single fucking time. Every single fucking time. Like, this gets old after a while. Nobody wants to do this anymore. There's just not enough content to warrant spending $100 per expansion on Destiny 2, which is basically what you're doing. You're spending $60 up front for the expansion, plus another $20 to do the dungeons, plus another $20 still for this, that, and the other thing. And then there's the Eververse shop, which is thrown in your face all the time, all for content that is just not quite there. It's just not, there's just not enough content there that is actually new to keep me engaged playing the game for longer than maybe 2 weeks until I finish the raid, and then that's it. I don't want to play anymore. So, like, this is the reason I stopped playing Destiny, is because it kind of constantly felt like the same level, or the same strike, or even just like the same content every single time I had to go do it. Oh, we're gonna go grind the same public events. Oh, we're gonna go grind the same strikes. Oh, we're gonna go do the same dungeons. Like, it's just miserable. It's just miserable. Every world felt like close to the same. As well. It didn't really feel like an open world to me. It felt like I was directed on certain paths, and it was kind of cumbersome to get places. But Destiny 2 as a whole, I have enjoyed for hundreds and hundreds of hours. I absolutely loved Destiny 2 back in the day. Forsaken was the GOAT of Destiny 2. I played through the Moon expansion, and then I played the Black Armory as well. And then I just stopped after that because I was like, well, they didn't even release a campaign for the Black Armory. It had some amazing weapons, but like, it's just miserable. They also killed off the only campaign. Yeah, Rip Cade. They killed off the only campaign character that was actually relevant and like good. Okay, but I will say that part of Destiny 2 was its amazing art and its amazing music. Okay, like Gunslinger is an absolutely incredible song. If you've never heard it before, I've played it before on stream. Absolutely incredible, super motivating, fun to play the missions too. The art for Destiny 2 is really well what helps you immerse yourself in the lore. And Destiny 2 just laid off a bunch of these people. So let's take a look. Bungie employees knew the Destiny 2 studio was struggling, but might not have expected a recent layoff of roughly 100 staff. That's according to a new report by Bloomberg, which details the meeting earlier this month in which a studio leadership blamed poor player retention following 2023's disappointing Lightfall expansion for revenue dropping off a cliff. Wow, how much is the cliff? But like, player retention has always been the problem in Destiny because the grind in Destiny does not feel good. In BDO, you want to come out and grind, right? You want to play your class. The combat feels smooth. It feels rewarding to grind. It's fun. There's an open world. There's lots of places to do it. In Destiny 2, the grind is just doing more public events. It's doing more strikes. It's running the raid for the 100th time, although the raid is the good content, let's be honest. But like, the grind in Destiny 2 feels like shit. You're going through the same hidden area. I forget what these players are, what the like the hidden zones. You're going through the same hidden area, killing it like for the millionth time, right? Oh my god, bro, it's just miserable. It's miserable. It doesn't feel rewarding at all, and you're doing it with the same gun, and all the guns look like they're just reskinned versions of each other. Lost sectors, thank you. Lost sectors. Yeah, all of the guns feel like reskinned versions of each other with different perks and stuff. It just feels like shit. No one stays around after the raid's done. The money Bungie was bringing in was reportedly running 45% below projections for the year. Holy shit. Oh my god. Despite an initial spike in concurrent players on Steam, Destiny 2 has struggled in the weeks and the months following the release of its cyberpunk-infused Lightfall expansion. Bloomberg reports that the final shape, which Destiny has been hyping up in the cinematic conclusion for Destiny 2's current storyline, was getting good, but not great feedback internally. As a result, the decision was made to delay it from February 2024 to June in order to win back players. So now this expansion that the game desperately needs isn't going to come in February of 2024. That's 3 months from today. Okay. It's going to come in June. Okay. What is that? March, April, May, June. So that's 4 more months. That's 7 total months from now before you get any sort of Destiny content. And they're gradually going to lose players from now until then. Like, there's no way that the current player base of Destiny 2 continues to play the game for the next 7 months without an infusion of content. That's just how Destiny is. You won't play it unless there's new content. I'm not going to go back and play unless there's a new raid for me to do. Yeah, let's check that. That's a good idea. Let me see. They still have one planned. It's just a small one. Okay, well, that's good. Oh boy. Okay, so let's look at this. Okay, so you can see, like, every time they put out an expansion, these are expansions right here. Dot, big expansion here, big expansion here, big expansion right there. Kept a lot of players playing. Big dip off, but you'll notice that, like, there was a huge decrease in players right here. And now we're at an all-time low. This is an all-time low as of, this looks like at least 4 years. It kind of goes back here. Yeah, this is an all-time low. We are at 40,000 concurrent players in the last 30 days. Okay. In March, I think, is when the last expansion came out. That was 135,000 players. We're down to less than a third, and it's going to continue dropping. And it's going to continue dropping. I think it's the start. This is the start of the end for Destiny as a whole, man. Well, I mean, Destiny 3 could be a thing. I would play it. I would play it if Destiny released an expansion nowadays. Now that I'm a streamer, yeah, I would play it. Absolutely. Absolutely. But, like, again, I would probably spend half the time ripping into it for recycling content the whole time. They need to get away from this. Every strike is a campaign mission. Make strikes actually engaging. Okay. They need to make sure that the campaign missions don't look identical to each other. Okay. And that public events are different and fun and unique. Right now, public events are dead, man. Those things suck. And then the lost sectors also don't feel crazy fun to do. They don't feel like there's... also, part of what made Forsaken really good was the fact that there were, like, Easter eggs hidden everywhere, all over the place. And it really did feel like everywhere you went, there was, like, an opportunity to find some rabbit hole that you could fall down for 2 or 3 hours trying to fight some ridiculous enemies. You know what I mean? For a potential reward. And there was, like, all kinds of stuff to do. It just doesn't feel like that anymore. It just doesn't... There's no Easter eggs. I mean, there are a few, but there's not nearly as many to keep you kind of engaged, just running around the world and, like, for, like, rewarding you for inspecting things. You know what I mean? Like the what is that? What was the sniper rifle? Not Last Wish. Last Whisper? Is it Last Whisper? Or Whisper of the Worm. Whisper of the Worm. Whisper of the Worm was discovered by accident. They just kind of added it to the game. They kind of just added it to the game. Whisper of the Worm is this super incredible sniper rifle that you found doing this very secret mission that was put on, I think it was IO. And it was like all these jump puzzles. It was really cool, and you didn't know what you were going to get at the end. And then you got Whisper of the Worm. It's like this best-in-slot sniper rifle. It's really cool, and only a few people knew about it. And then it kind of blew up. And even if you did know about it, it was just a really cool little Easter egg that people stumbled onto that they kind of added to the game. There's nothing like that anymore. There's nothing like that anymore. Just super cool. Izanagiri was Pog. Yeah. Right. Okay, so where do we lay off here? So they're going to delay their expansion until June. Okay. Extraction Shooter Marathon was delayed as well to 2025. Oh, is this is a different game. This is a different game. In the meantime, Bungie ultimately decided to lay off roughly 100 employees, or about 8% of its 1,200 headcount, Bloomberg reports. As first shared by Forbes writer Paul Tassi earlier today, employees are receiving 3 months of severance and health insurance, while other benefits run out on November 1st. And while bonuses will be prorated, prorated for the year, those with shares from the 2022 Sony acquisition that haven't yet vested will lose them. Sony, for its part, also appears to be cutting costs across its studios. Oh boy. Today is a sad day for Bungie, and as we say goodbye to colleagues who all have had a significant impact on our studio. But Bungie CEO Pete Parsons wrote on Twitter on October 30th after the news broke, "What these exceptional individuals have contributed to our games and Bungie culture for being has been enormous and will continue to be a big part of Bungie long into the future." The tweet has since been ratioed, with some commenters calling the remarks tone deaf and asking the executive whether he had taken a pay cut before deciding who to lay off. Bungie has so far declined to comment on the situation. Bro, it's really sad to see, because Destiny 2 is a great game. Destiny 2 is a great game. I mean, like, the fact of the matter is, if you're down 45% in revenue, guys, I'm surprised that only 100 people got laid off. If I'm being honest, I'm surprised that only 100 people got laid off. And the first people to go are the art majors. Very sadly. Very sadly. Yeah, like the music and the art and everything is absolutely incredible and helps you immerse into the game. But it's also, in terms of like essential personnel, I don't know, man. Like, I feel like they would probably be pretty essential. So like, but like, how do you make that decision? I don't know. It's just a tough spot for Bungie to be in. But they've put themselves here after expansion after expansion after expansion was basically just a hit and a miss, right? Like, up front, you got a lot of players coming back to the game, but Bungie has just never been able to capture why players should play their game long term. They cannot get a player, like an average player, to play their game longer than about 2 to 4 weeks, right? They're probably going to play about 2 to 4 weeks until they finish the raid, and then they're done. That's it. Because, like, there's no reason to continue playing at that point. Okay, yeah, I could get this super fucking cool gun that looks exactly like the one I have now, but it has better perks. Okay, well, like, most players just aren't going to do that. No, most people just don't care. Like, there's no meaningful end game progression in Destiny that keeps players playing in that long term, and that's what I think Destiny has just kind of been missing. Honestly, do you want the real hot take? Pearl Abyss acquiring Bungie. Okay, I think Bungie is much bigger than Pearl Abyss, but like, I think that if Pearl Abyss took over operations at Bungie, W. I think that suddenly Destiny 2 becomes a fucking W of a fucking game. Because they probably implement things that make you want to play the game longer than about 2 fucking weeks. How much is Bungie worth now? Oh, whoops, I spelled it wrong. How much is Bungie worth? 3.6 billion. So yeah, they're way, way more than Pearl Abyss. Way more than Pearl Abyss. But Pearl Abyss is doing it better, and they're a much younger company. I don't know. Like, the only reason I bring this up is because Pearl Abyss directly competes with Bungie for playership. A lot of players that play Destiny 2 also play Black Desert Online. Runs both ways because they're grindy games. They're grindy games. And like, people like that meaningful long-term progression. But Pearl Abyss just does it better. And they're better at retaining their players. Right? And they're better at maintaining their players. Both companies that suck quests, sure. You mean that suck at making quests? That's true. But like, I don't necessarily play Bungie for the main story, although I love the main story of Destiny to a certain point. Honestly, I don't love the main story of Destiny. The characters of Destiny suck. The storyline is pretty cool. Like, the enemies I have to kill and the stuff that they're trying to do to the universe are really cool. The main characters, like the ones on the Traveler and stuff, those characters suck, man. I don't feel like they're fleshed out. There's nothing really like that kind of attaches me to them, other than the fact that that one woman, that the purple woman, is bald. Aside from that, yeah, Cade was an incredible character, and they killed him. Zavala voice. Right, yeah, I mean, like, I don't know. I'm just not at all emotionally invested into any of the... most of the Traveler, like, main, like, story characters could be just wiped off the face of the map, and I really wouldn't give a shit. The only character I would have cared about was Cade, and he's already dead. Right? BDO has sliders. Does Destiny 2 have sliders? No, they all look, your characters basically all look the same. You just kind of gear them out differently. Remember, you're jumping around in like a sci-fi fantasy setting, so like you're basically in a spacesuit. Sort of. Kind of. Pearl shop prices would likely rise from another game edition. I already feel like paying for Crimson Desert. Oh, I already feel like I'm paying for Crimson Desert. No, I actually feel like their Pearl shop tendencies lately have been much better. Have you ever have you logged into Destiny recently? I'm curious. Because see, if you've logged into Destiny recently, you know that the Eververse shop is way bigger problem than the Pearl shop. The Pearl shop is like, yeah, do they push it on you a little bit? Sure. But the Eververse shop is just thrown in your face the whole time. Keep in mind, you're already spending almost $100 on every single expansion every few months, okay? And in BDO, the expansions are free. So BDO has every single, like, right or, like, ability. Like, they should be throwing it in your face more. But Bungie are the ones that kind of throw it in your face way, way more than I feel like Pearl Abyss does. Right? Zavala's voice actor died. Feels bad, man. Feels bad, man. Casually waits for Blue's answer to his class rep. Implement Blue boob sliders. I'm a warlock in Destiny. I'm a warlock in Destiny. I like the ability to heal, just like I'm a staff in BDO. I like having the ability to heal people and also make badass plays. 5 years ago, Destiny was amazing, true. But with all the season shit you need to buy, etc. Yeah, no, I feel like if I needed to invest in Destiny now, I'd have to spend $300. I haven't played since the Black Armory, right? I've logged in a couple times, but like they won't let me do anything, and they've basically sunsetted all of that content. So like I basically have to start over from scratch, and in order to buy all these expansions, it's gonna cost me a fortune. Like why would I bother? Like why would I bother? You know what I mean? I'm disappointed you didn't main lawn blue. Oh, I'm playing lawn now. Playing lawn now. Well, there's the problem. I mean, true. Destiny basically just like, oh, how much money can we squeeze out of our entire player base over and over and over again? However, there's like this marathon game that they're making. There's a new game they're working on, and it feels like they're milking their Destiny player base for this game here. It's giving me Destiny vibes, to be honest. And like, if I'm being real, I definitely still have a lot of faith in Bungie as a company. I think that they can crank out some of the best content that I have ever enjoyed on the internet. So like, this game could be super hype. It looks really good. Not epilepsy friendly, though. What an interesting art style to go with. Very interesting art style to go with. I think that looks really cool. If I'm being honest, I think this looks really cool. It's kind of a unique take on this. Oh, shit. And then you melt into, like, the paint. That motherfucker just pulled a fucking... He just pulled that off that dude. It's like Tarkov. Okay, so it's... It's Tarkov meets Cyberpunk. In fairness, it looks really good. It was delayed until 2025, though. According to this article here. Till 25. Yeah, we're not getting that until 2025. Also, that's PlayStation Network. Oh, it's going to be PC too. Okay, that's good. That's good. Says, I really like Destiny 1 and 2. Really like Destiny 1, but 2 is kind of boring to me. You're not wrong. But like, there were parts of Destiny 2 that gave me the best experience I've ever had in PC gaming. I'm not joking. The raids of like the Callus raid, the very first raid I did in Destiny 2, is probably the single best experience I ever had in gaming, like period dot. You know what I mean? It was so cool because the first time I ever experienced like a Destiny raid or a raid of any kind like that, and we were all working together and none of us knew the mechanics, and we were all just working together to figure it out. And we just stayed in call for like 11 straight hours and just fucking grinded it out. We figured out every single fucking mechanic and we worked our way through it and we beat the boss, and it was so fucking cool. It was so fucking cool. Last Wish was was like also one of the best experiences I've ever had in Destiny 2. That might be even better. Honestly, Last Wish was probably even better than Callus because it was even better designed. But again, that was a part of Forsaken. So I love spending so long on the raids. That's what I loved too. That's what I love too. And I was hoping that I could bring that to my stream at some point so that we could try to go for like world first on a raid clear or something. We were pretty close on Last Wish. We were pretty fucking close. We were on the final boss when it got cleared for the very first time. It's just really cool. Really, really cool. Yeah, discovering mechanics was just cool. It's like, oh my god, I figured it out, guys. Let's do this. Let's do this. You know what I mean? Like suggesting things. I don't know. It's just a lot of fun. All of this to say, I have a tremendous amount of faith in Bungie as a company. I have not lost faith in the developers themselves. But I do think that they get really lazy. And that really makes me angry. And I don't feel like I want to play Destiny long term. Once I finish the raid, there's zero reason for me to continue playing the game. I think that the Bungie developers can absolutely develop a game or develop an expansion that can bring Destiny 2 back into the limelight. I think they're going to have to work really hard, and I think they're going to have to get rid of this reduce, reuse, recycle program that they currently have for strikes and things. So the problem is every raid since Last Wish has been baby mode compared to it. Exactly. They just haven't been that great. You know what I mean? I feel like they're skimping on the part of the content or part of the game that makes their game amazing, and less people kind of want to play the game because of it. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? It is what it is.